was this when you entered the portal and Oregon, I'm sure, reached out? Was it a tough decision, or was this just kind of an opportunity to fulfill maybe a lifelong dream to play for the Ducks?
Yeah, no, it was definitely still a tough decision because it was like, as much as it'd be great to come back home, which I ended up doing and playing for the Ducks because I grew up a Duck fan, it was also just like the best spot for my last year of college football, just kind of where I thought I could fit in the best and have an impact and, you know, set myself up for success.
What was it about Oregon that made you think that you could fit in the best here?
Yeah, so I really like Coach Adams and Coach Dillingham. I thought just my communication with them and hearing what they had to say about the offense and the opportunity just sounded really good. And then it's not like I came here because there's no receivers. There's a bunch of really good receivers. So just to be in a really good room and think that I can help enhance it is the experience I wanted to be in. Yeah.
You're the oldest guy in that wide receiver room.
Yeah, me and Crocker were the standing soldiers from 2018. Yeah.
What's that been like for you? Have people kind of almost looked up to you, or have you taken on that leadership role? Have you just kind of gone in there and done your business as you normally have?
Yeah, the first couple practices, I was still learning. I was a little behind all the younger guys even, but now that I'm up to speed and I know everything, I would say they're definitely, I'm leaning on them and they're leaning on me too, but I definitely think that I'm helping the guys out a little bit, and whenever they have a question or something, or maybe they're down or they're tired because, you know, they're younger and they haven't gone through this as much, then I feel like they can lean on me and they see me like standing strong or whatever. And I think there's a lot of benefit to being one of the oldest guys for sure.
Is that a tough balancing act at all, being one of the new guys in the program, but also being one of the veterans at your position and trying to lead everyone, but also while learning the new group?
Yeah, it's interesting, but I kind of knew that. I just knew that's what I was coming into, and I knew it would be different. But you know, they already have their roles. Like they had the first couple practices and walkthroughs all winter, so they kind of have their spots and they're comfortable with where they're at. But now I feel like I'm up to speed, and now I'm kind of taking on that leadership role and helping them out. But like I said, they're helping me out too. It's just I feel like it's a really good room for sure.
What do you provide on the field that I'm not going to say that the other guys don't have, but what do you provide the team?
I think I'm just like a good big physical receiver that can go out. I can run a lot of different routes, I think, now, especially being an older guy, and I'm good because I feel like they can move me into the slot and the outside and kind of wherever they see best fit, given like the defense we're going against, and just that I've made some plays over the years somewhere else. You know, they have some confidence in me, put me out there.
What was it like facing? I know you said you grew up an Oregon fan. Obviously, your dad played here. Your Brady played here. Going against the Ducks, was that just sort of strange? Is that a game you circled in the calendar at UCLA?
I wouldn't say I circled it, but it was interesting. I got to play up here at Autzen twice. Yeah. So first time it was super cool. Like the whole fam was here, and I was actually going against Brady on the punt team. So he was lined up over me, and so we got some one-on-ones together, which was fun. But then the second time playing up here with no fans, it's kind of weird, but it was still a fun time. And then this last season, they got us there at the very end. I'm just definitely glad to be up here and playing against them, and also getting recruited with some of the same guys. It's like because of all that, they all know me, and I know all them. So I came into a locker room where I feel like I have a really good camaraderie connection with everyone already.
Ty said a couple weeks ago, I think it was, that he was amazed with how quickly you picked up everything. It was like second or third practice, and you seemed to kind of just know exactly what you're doing with the playbook. What was that process like for you? I mean, diving into the playbook, getting to know all the terminology and everything like that?
Yeah, well, I was doing some FaceTimes or some Zooms with Coach Lockett, just making sure I knew everything like the last week leading up to coming in here, which then, I mean, you're not on the field and you're not in a practice where you don't know where you're going every period and stuff, so it took 2 to get used to it. And after that, it's there's different names, but offenses are kind of all the same. So it's as soon as you know the name, it's that's the same play we had at UCLA, just a different name and stuff. So I feel like learning into college offense before and then just having it be the same thing, just different names, made it really easy. It's where my first spring when I went in freshman year at UCLA, it took a lot longer for sure.
Your fellow wide receiver, Seven McGee, he's made the change into wide receiver from running back. Can you talk about what impressed you from him, anything that you didn't expect from him, in position drills?
Yeah, I mean, nothing I wouldn't expect. I mean, he's just explosive and looks really good, and then it's cool because, we haven't done a whole lot of stuff yet, but I'd assume we'd be able to put him back in the backfield and give him some carries and everything. So I think that just having him as that guy, kind of like the Anthony Thomas back in the day, to where it's you can kind of do whatever with him, put the defense in a bind for whatever rotation they want to have out. And like I say, he's explosive. He can make plays down the field. field, and he can make good cuts on the inside. He's a really good player.
Growing up, watching so much at Oregon, Chase, you got to see some pretty prolific offenses. Now there's a lot of excitement with what Kenny's got building now. What's it like being a receiver or just being in this offense now, seeing that that's the vision he's going for?
It's a privilege, and it's super cool, so I'm taking it very seriously, and I'm just excited to get better with him and hopefully be able to have a really good season offensively and put up some numbers and win a lot of games. So.
If you could envision a perfect season like at the end of the year, like what would it look like? You mentioned like you want to improve like some offensive numbers. Like what would that look like?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I don't want to say too much, but definitely, being in that Pac-12 game and winning the Pac-12 and then just going on from there and hopefully a Rose Bowl season, if not more, but we'll see how it goes. So we got to get through the first few for sure.
This coaching staff has seemed to make a big point of bringing in some of the Oregon legends. I mean, you've got Anthony Thomas, Michael James, Glory Nada, Eric Armstead in the spring game coaching. As a lifelong Oregon fan, how cool is that to be in proximity with some of these guys and to see them work alongside you?
Oh, it's sweet. Like Dwayne Stanford came out to our practice the other day, and or on Thursday last week. So afterwards, he came up to us, introduced himself. I'm like, bro, I grew up watching you. Like, you were legit, like all that. And then my dad being an old guy too, he's heard that just from his buddies in the community. He's like, oh, like they're reaching out to so-and-so. And like Dino Filia is one of my dad's good buddies from when they played together. And he's still cooking for him and stuff. And Coach Lanning's taking all those guys, under his wing and along with the program again. So I think it's special for sure.
You're wearing the number of Jeff Mail. Were you a big fan of his growing up? Does that mean something? Do you wear that number 23?
Yeah, I mean, so the reason I started wearing 23 was my freshman year of high school. I was just like the youngest kid on the team. It was like there was 23, 29, and like 38 left or something. So I was like, oh, what? Devin Hester, Jeff Mail, Jordan. I'm just wear 23. So, having him be a legend and people immediately, want to say like, oh, Jeff Mail 2.0. It's like, I'm not trying to be Jeff Mail 2.0, but I think it's really cool that, people bring it up and that his name gets recirculated because I'm wearing the number too. So anything that shines light on him, I think it's good.
You mentioned Isaiah Crocker from 18. You guys were you in the same opening team? Because I know you were in the same year. Like, did you guys know each other pretty well? And what's it been like getting to play with him?
We were on a different team at that, but like he was committed here, and so he was kind of recruiting me and stuff during that time. But me and him got to know each other from a couple of camps, and then that week, like him being from Sacramento and like New Southern Oregon, kind of was like we're in between like the LA guys and the Portland guys. So it was kind of cool. We always had like a good connection, it seemed like. And then right before I came here, and now it's like we hang out all the time. He's a cool guy for sure.
We saw you fielding some kicks in practice today. Did you return punts much at UCLA? How do you envision contributing in that special teams capacity?
Yeah, so Kyle Phillips, my roommate while we were down there in our slot receiver, he was just lights out at punt return. So we always had him out there, but I was always like a backup. And Casimir Allen was our kickoff returner. So I was our number 2 kickoff returner too, behind those two like speedy, smaller guys. But if I can make an impact, that's great. Right now, I just started, so I'm down on the depth chart. But if they want to put me in for it, I think that's great. I don't have college experience doing it, but I'm definitely open-minded to it.
What do you make of the quarterbacks here? Obviously, there's no open competition. Bo's played a lot, the other two haven't, at least in games. What have you kind of seen from those guys? And I think Ty mentioned that you kind of help mentor some of those guys, or at least have some pointers for the younger guys. Kind of what's that relationship been?
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool that it is an open competition, like being somewhere where that is like a point of emphasis, and having guys like really trying to grind and get better and better. It's like every day it feels like really competitive on the practice field, and so I really like that. I think all of them look really good. Like I couldn't even lean either way. Like Jay's really good, Ty's really good, Bo's really good. I like that they all kind of have their own style, but they're all super athletic too. Like I didn't realize how athletic all those guys were. So I think it's amazing just that like if one happens to go down, hopefully Lord willing it doesn't happen. The next one's just as good. That's how I feel. So it's exciting.